This August full moon packs a punch, and I can't wait to tell you all the details. I am going to list off all of the big aspects happening at the time of this full moon, and then check your sign by sign to get a better understanding of how this could show up for you. So first of all, this full moon in Aquarius is happening August 19th at 11:26 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So depending on where you are in the world, it can be exact at a different time, but a full moon has an effect 5 days before and 5 days after. We are also kicking off the first eclipse in the Virgo Pisces axis around September 17th. But the events for an eclipse can show up a whole month before or a whole month after. So this full moon could be part of the eclipse story for you. Beyond that, check out all of these squares. All those red lines, those squares mean that this energy is coming from outside of us. Events are likely to happen that we don't have a lot of control over, that sever something, make something happen very quickly. These squares are the energy of Mars, and Mars is a warrior. It gets stuff done. It is our motivation in astrology. It brings passion. It is also the god of war, so it severs, it cuts. Mars is an energy that cuts things, especially when we are talking about a Mars-Saturn square that is going on most of August. That means business. Saturn is disciplinary. It has the big picture in mind. It wants to make sure that we have everything in the foundation that we need to achieve what we want later on. And when Mars and Saturn square, they don't care how uncomfortable we might get in the moment. They care about the big picture and the bigger results. With squares like these, it is a good time to remember that anything uncomfortable that happens in the moment likely has something down the road, some part of the bigger picture that we are going to really like the outcome, or is going to help us along our path in some way. So here's the list. We have Mercury in Leo, retrograde, combust the sun. Mercury is our planet of communication, our mind, our hands. It rules electronics. So when you hear people talk about Mercury retrograde and things going wonky, this is a time where it can interfere with machinery and communication, things that we depend on every day to get things done. Beyond that, when it's too close to the sun, it is said that it gets burned up. And so Mercury is really at a disadvantage at the time of this full moon. Beyond that, it is getting a square from Uranus. When Mercury and Uranus square, this is a recipe for miscommunication, stuff coming out of the blue that we didn't expect. This is really shocking news. This is expect the unexpected and expect communication to go haywire. Expect to not fully understand what's being said. So if you feel like your feathers are ruffled and something has come up that is really getting you all worked up, slow down and consider that something might be misunderstood or not quite right with energy like this. The other squares that we have going on, a Mars-Jupiter conjunction that happened just days before this full moon, squaring Venus and Saturn. So this puts Venus and Saturn in an opposition. These are big aspects of tension. Mars and Jupiter are starting a new cycle in Gemini, and the Venus square, this looks to me like an opportunity to merge ideas. This is a time to not really shy away from expressing your thoughts, expressing curiosity about what other people are thinking and how these ideas can come together. In the beginning, this could mean some friction, but this ultimately leads to better relationships, more pleasure. Venus is in Virgo and she wants to get into the nitty gritty. With Venus in Virgo, we are actually getting pleasure from the detail, from questioning things, from organizing things. This is a great time to spend organizing your place or your space at the very least. This is also great energy for getting prepped for the school year or getting all that detail together to teach or whatever it is that you have going on in the fall. Because Saturn's involvement in this configuration with Venus and Mars and Jupiter, this is disciplinary action that slows things down so that we can go over the detail. Events could happen that feel very frustrating, that slow things down when you feel like you want to speed up. But the advice around the energy that's happening at this full moon is accept the slowdowns, have a lot of compassion and patience for yourself, and then for other people too. But firstly for yourself, because I think there's a lot of mix here with so much Mars energy that the desire to push through things and the passion to get things done is going to be on high. But Mercury is in a slow paced mood and wants to make sure every detail is addressed, and so does Saturn. And with all these squares, they mean business. They are not playing around. So there's lots of curveball energy with Uranus exactly squaring this moon. Something is going to come to light that was unexpected and unforeseen, and that is happening alongside this new journey of ideas, communication, curiosity. Really, with Gemini, it can be so many different things. Gemini is a double-bodied sign, and everything about Gemini has to do with dualities existing. So I really think that there's a lot of potential for conflict to show up. The goal through all of this is to make room for that Gemini energy, that two ideas can coexist, and with Venus and Virgo, we have a really good chance of figuring that out. That is a really quick summary of a lot of big things happening in the sky. I do want to remind everybody that this is a time to, in some ways, to let things happen. Let it be a slow process if that's what's happening. If you can, wait to take big action when Mercury is direct, and also not too close to the eclipse windows. So just because we're talking about a bigger range now, this is looking like 3 months of where there is going to be a lot of events that happen to us, and we are going to have to pivot and react the best that we can. But because everything is on the side of big fated events right now, if we can go with the flow and pay attention to what is being shown to us, then I think we can navigate our path in September, November, and by November, hopefully, especially the new year, have something even better sorted for where we're going and what we want to accomplish. Thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing. It is so much fun chatting astrology with you. Now let's get into the sign by sign. Hi Libra. For you, this is a 5th house full moon. So this is all about creative expression, what brings you joy, children, God-given talents. This is how you have fun in the world. So if what you are doing right now in life doesn't align with who you truly are, things are going to show up in your environment that show you where the discrepancies are and how to bring things back to what is truly authentically you, where your creative joy is. And I think this really lines up with the new moon that we just had in Leo, because Leo rules the fifth house. And the August 4th new moon was intended to activate these very thoughts. Are you having fun? Are you really expressing yourself authentically? Are you creating from a place that really matters to you? Or are you doing things based on what you think is right or what you think other people would like to see? This is especially valid for a Libra because you are all about other people. You love to see balance and beauty, and you like things to be very smooth, and you like to please other people. And sometimes pleasing other people means there's this default in Libra, which is one of your God-given talents, that you have this innate ability to sense and feel what pleases other people, and then you just do it. You don't think about it. This isn't even your intention to go out and do things for other people rather than be truly you and authentic. It's this automatic program that actually brings you a lot of gifts in this life because you can help other people resolve conflict and live in more peace as a result. I would like to go so far as to say that Libras just bring a lot of peace and beauty to this world. So thank you, Libra, for doing that. And this full moon is really next level of being both that person that is able to be those qualities for other people and be more you. Uranus is in your 8th house, and this could be unexpected, sudden reversals when it comes to your psychology, any wounds that are ready to be purged. This is a house of sudden reversals, and with Uranus there, you're probably getting a little bit used to this activity where you are in a phase of going through a lot of quick changes. This moon is no exception. And it could have to do with other people's resources. So something out of the blue could show up that is really supportive for you. And I hope that that is one of the ways that this energy manifests. You could be starting a whole new way of viewing the world with Jupiter-Mars conjunction in your 9th house. If you're a teacher, then the way that you teach is being revolutionized, showing up differently, maybe because you have different resources to work with. Maybe you have fewer resources to work with and you need to make changes there. But ultimately, if it's something like fewer resources and that could be frustrating in the moment, when we have to get creative to do something differently with less, then that could be part of the magic that is just shifting either what you're teaching or what you're learning. And this involves your views on the world. This is your spiritual beliefs and how you know the world to work. And something could change that makes you question all of those things, that sets you on a whole new cycle of what spirituality means to you, how you think the world works, how you perceive the world to work with you and with other people. For you, unexpected communication could come from your networks, from your friends, and it could be connected to resources. This is not a good energy to get into any financial dealings with other people right now, at least not intentionally. If you have to, that's fine. It's meant to be, and it's meant to be part of this full moon energy. With anything that I ever say in videos, any do's and don'ts, what I always mean is that these are just things to keep in the back of your mind. But astrology should never be something that creates fear or too much rigidity. It should be a tool that helps us listen to ourselves better. That with transits like this, we take a moment to really connect with what's going on around us and ultimately what our bodies and what our hearts, our souls are telling us to do. And that's one of the ways that I have been separating fear from intuition and action, is that if there's an astrology transit that is challenging and that's creating some fear, but you really, really, really still want to do something, then go for it. If you are feeling resistance inside and you're afraid of something that's going on the outside when it comes to astrology, then take a step back if you can. What I do like is that Venus and Jupiter are squaring. So even though it's a square, even though Venus is not in its perfect position, this is a time where attention to detail can really create a lot of healing in relationships, especially when it comes to your shared perspectives on how you view the world. If things like that are coming up in your relationships with women, or questions even internally about how you want romantic relationships to go, or if you are in a relationship and some of these topics are coming up, go into the detail. Go into the detail of how you view the world. And this is about bringing foreign concepts together because of getting into the nitty-gritty and really sharing that with another person. And even if that creates miscommunication or conflict in the moment, it can create a deepening of the relationship down the road. So these energies are so widespread, Libra, lots going on, but I hope that it brings lots of blessings to you. Please let me know in the comments below what you're feeling around this time, and reach out for a reading if you want a little extra support. I'll see you soon. Hi, Scorpio. This is a 4th house full moon for you. So this is all about home, family, your residence, place of living, but also what is on the inside, your inner world that you don't show everybody, which for a Scorpio is quite vast. This is also the place that you grew up and the way that you were raised, the upbringing that you had, and this can also reflect your mother. You've had a lot of Uranus action from partnerships and other people going on lately. And this is another one of those curveball moments where somebody else is going to do or say something that is going to have some sort of effect on your home, how you view your home, and maybe how you view your inner world. This could be a partner, your significant partner, business partner. These are usually people that are contract-based in your life and significant in some way, not just fleeting people. So they're people you care about, and they're people that have a big impact. You also have a lot of energy in your house of other people's resources. So this could have to do with new resources coming in. Mars could be cutting a resource that you were depending on, and maybe that has to do with something to do with your significant partnership or your significant other. And you're going back over your public image. Mercury's retrograde in your 10th house, and this has to do with career, but more along the lines of how you are seen in your career. When it comes to writing and articulating, there might be some details to go over that are going to help your reputation later on. You could be going over a creative project of some kind, and Saturn's retrograde here is asking you to revise details and make sure that it's more authentically you. There could be something to do with your support from other people that is allowing you to do these revisions, or it could be that psychological changes and transformation that you're going through is making you reflect on your creative projects, on how you have fun, on how you express yourself in authentic ways. And because you've gone through some psychological reversals, you are now rewriting that script of what joy and fun and pleasure and creativity mean to you. It could be that pleasure with the communities that you're a part of, or a female in your network and audience, is part of the feedback that's giving you the opportunity to do some serious restructuring in your creative projects. This is a great time for purging physically, emotionally, mentally. With Mars Jupiter conjunction in your 8th house, the support from other people could be coming from a therapist, and this could be helping you purge and release energy from the past with your partnerships or family upbringing that no longer needs to be carried with you. Something that's been running in the background and you've been unaware of, that is affecting your relationships, your work persona, your creative projects, maybe you are releasing things that have been holding you back from feeling like you can express who you truly are. And sometimes the sneaky psychological things going on from our upbringing can be such a blind spot that we disconnect from a part of ourselves altogether. So this is a full moon where practical things could be happening at home and with relationships and with your networks, with your creative projects, with work. But this can all be energetic too. And it might be that you are transforming a part of yourself that is going to affect all of these other parts of your life in a really lovely way. Have a lot of compassion and patience if things are a little haywire for the middle of August. It will settle down. You'll be back to figuring out new ways of creativity and joy as Saturn continues to retrograde in your 5th house and asks you to revisit what joy and happiness and pleasure and self-expression mean to you. If an astrology reading is part of your healing and your processing at this time, or you're being called to that, there is a link below and you can visit my website and book a reading, and we can look at your specific chart and how the energy is showing up for you and what might be going on in a more specific way. Would love to see you there. Have a great full moon, Scorpio. I'll see you next time. Hi, Sagittarius. This is a 3rd house full moon for you. So this has to do with your neighbors, your community, your close community, your siblings, close relatives. Something unexpected could come up with health that affects some short distance travel. There is big stuff happening in your partnership sector for you. You're starting a new cycle. If something has been cut with partnerships, then it's ultimately for healing with Jupiter's presence there. And because you have Jupiter here, you have so much expansiveness in your partnerships right now overall, that if something is leaving, just let it and just see how things unfold over the next few months as we go through all of this faded energy. Part of the changes that could be happening in partnerships are that you are revising what's going on in your inner world. Saturn is retrograding in your 4th house right now. Restructuring your foundation with your home life is in the focus. Dealing with any fears and restriction that you have when it comes to home, your inner world, where you came from. It could have to do with boundaries with the people that you live with and protecting that inner space of yours. Public image is coming up for this moon as well. So with Venus in your 10th house, people are seeing you in a very good light. Having a Virgo 10th house means that people see a lot of detail about you. People can see that you are smart, curious, detail-oriented, that you can get a job well done. There's still something that Saturn is asking of this position to revise. You might be changing some of the things that you share publicly about relationships or pleasure, or maybe your values around beauty are actually changing because of some of the ways that you're reworking your inner world. And you might be changing the narrative that you were raised with, and that is creating a different expression of public image for you that is just more you. For those teachers out there, you are likely revising your teaching material. Mercury retrograde in your ninth house for everybody is a revision of some kind. But for you with your ninth house, this could be teaching, this could be the way that you view the world, this could be incorporating foreign beliefs and things that are different than the way that you were raised. And partnerships can bring this out in us. So because there's so much partnership focus for you, if merging foreign ideas and concepts is something that comes up around this time, be really slow and diligent with the detail. Go over every little thing. It's really going to help you merge with another person even more. Even if you don't take on somebody else's belief systems, it's really about understanding where another person is coming from and letting them be seen and understood. This is one of the ingredients that could help your significant relationships around this time, business or romantic. Travel could be part of what's going on for you, and maybe health stuff is delaying travel right now. If that's the case, it does seem like this is a protection mechanism. So as frustrating as travel delays can be, it could be that it's slowing things down to avoid something worse happening. Pay attention to your health right now, and know that if anything unexpected comes up, that hopefully anything unexpected that comes up is helping to heal and transform, but ultimately revolutionize anything that's been going on with work or health for you. Let me know how things are going on in the comments below, Sag, and would love to see you for a personal reading. Check out my website below and we can process more about your personal chart there. I'll see you next time. Capricorn, this is a second house full moon for you. So this is all about what you value when it comes to creativity, what you value when it comes to fun, play, pleasure, children, enjoyment, what it is that you value about your self-expression. There could be something unexpected from any of these places that really shifts those things that you value. Maybe something unexpected comes up with your children if you have them, and that's something that makes you question your values. Children are great for that. They'll definitely shake you up and make you question things. They have innovative ideas, and that is very much under the energy of an Aquarius full moon. For you with work and health, that's where the Mars-Jupiter conjunction is happening, and that's the other square that's happening with Saturn and Venus. For you, that would be in your third and ninth house. So it's as if your health or somebody in the workplace, maybe something to do with your routine is changing. Any of these factors can be on a brand new beginning, and maybe it's had to do with your mindset with relationships, restructuring how you communicate, restructuring how you work with your hands, short distance travel, something with siblings. A really big mixed bag of possibilities because of the way the planets are all splayed out in the chart. It's activating a lot of parts of your life. But I want to touch on these possibilities because when these situations show up, if they are challenging, I want you to keep in mind that this is about changing your health, your routine, your daily habits, the way that you work, the way that you get things done. Maybe you're implementing a foreign concept or a foreign idea that comes from a partnership, a female in particular, and that is going to give you a fresh beginning of getting more work done, being more efficient, or having better outcomes with your health. The way that you receive support from other people or your deep, intimate connections could have some miscommunication in that department. Or with Mercury retrograde in your 8th house, you could be going back over psychological transformations and shifts. If you're doing inner work, this is a wonderful time for going back over some of those psychological patterns, and maybe there's some energetic purging that's happening in your life. This could happen through communication. And communication is one of the best ways that we release energy. So do be careful with your words, but express what you need to, because with Mercury going back over its tracks from last month, there could be some things that were unsaid that need to be spoken, and this is a wonderful opportunity to tie up those loose ends. Overall, this is about money and what you value. When you are clear on your values and you are living in alignment with them, you are living in accordance to what you value, then your assets do really well. Then you grow in your abundance. And you might be able to, with energy like this, you could be getting a purchase that you have been waiting for. If maybe it's coming in the mail and you've been waiting for a while, I would wait to spend big money until Mercury is direct in September. As long as you can make returns or make shifts afterwards if something shows up and it's not quite right. Something is manifesting in your house of values. This also has to do with what you ingest. There could be something about the way that you eat and the way that you nourish your body that's changing, or even something to do with your voice and the way that you express yourself. I hope this brings wonderful new beginnings for health and work, Capricorn. You will certainly love that. With your ruler retrograde right now, Saturn, you might feel a little less motivated, a little slower to act, and there is purpose behind that too, that it's a good time to just make sure that everything is correct, and there'll be more momentum later in the year, and especially getting into 2025. So see what the world has in store for you for now, and just know that it is sometimes stuff that happens slowly and in the background that has the biggest impact when planets are direct and momentum is all a go. If you are interested in a reading to help process what's going on in your world, link below to my website, and I would love to see you for a one-on-one Zoom call where I can look at your specific chart and we can talk about some of the details there. I'll see you next time. Aquarius, this is your full moon. I hope that you are enjoying big transformations and reaching a whole new level of you. This is a time where something unexpected from home and family could create shockwaves that change you to your core. This could be something unexpected to do with your body, your health. This could affect your partnerships. Partnerships from your past are very likely to show up around this time. If that's the case, there is very likely some communication that needs to happen that was overlooked the first time around. This is a wonderful time to make sure that everything that you wanted to express has been expressed, and that you have heard everything that another person has wanted to express. If these shockwaves aren't coming from home, then they're coming from your inner world. And this could be from a significant partner that expresses something that really makes you look at your inner makeup, that really makes you look at what's on the inside and how you react to circumstances around you. Jupiter and Mars are starting a brand new cycle in your 5th house of true love, fun, dating, pleasure, romance, creative expression, children. Something can either end in this department or be reborn, or both. But with Jupiter here, you do have protection and you do have a lot of growth, abundance, and healing in this part of your life. So I think that Aquarians out there are becoming even more authentically Aquarian, if that's possible. You are already somebody who is unique and acts according to your inner principles and who you are, and you don't conform for the sake of other people. But there's something that's still shifting in this part of your life with how you create and how you express. Intimate connections, support from romantic relationships, money from your partner, intimacy with females. These are also topics that are being brought up, and you're feeling really passionate and jazzed up. You might even be coming across a little too boisterous, too loud with your self-expression, as far as what your partner is able to absorb or take in. So keep that in mind with this Jupiter-Mars in your 5th house. It can come on too strong. That is an antagonist to intimacy. When it comes to healthy intimacy, you want both parties to have balanced influence. And Aquarius, if you're just trying to show too much of you and not taking in what the other person wants to express, that can create friction with intimacy. That could be what's coming to an end with the full moon in your 1st house, is that how you express yourself and how other people see you, there's something that comes into question and might need some shifting. Big energy for self and other, Aquarius. You're really balancing out what it means to merge with another person in healthy ways. And you have a long journey of Pluto transformation in your 1st house. Pluto right now is back at the 0 degree of Aquarius, and this moon, I think, is just one layer of the 20-year transit that's going to return towards the end of this year and stay for 20 years. That's really going to have you looking at yourself more and more and looking at all of those things that you want to change. And if you don't, Pluto just makes it happen. So keep that in mind, and especially at the time of this full moon. If you would like a personal reading where I do a 60-minute Zoom call, we could do 30 or 90 as well, but I do them live, and there's a link to the website below. This can really help process at an individual level what's going on, because these general readings speak to everybody, but your chart is going to be unique to you, and I can take a look and help break down what's going on. Have a wonderful full moon, Aquarius, and I will see you next time. Hi, Pisces. This is a 12th house full moon for you. So this is a part of your chart that rules things that have been hidden. It rules an area of life that has to do with being separate from the rest of society. So this is hospitals, prisons, institutions. This is also rest. This is where you take a break from the rest of the world and sleep a little more. Also great energy for traveling overseas and vacation for the sake of a break. So if you feel like taking a break, this is a wonderful time to do it. Mercury is retrograde, so it is slow energy for getting things done. Mars is a planet of energy, productivity, getting things done. And that is in the most hidden part of your chart, other than the 12th house, where the moon is, which is your 4th house, your inner world, home. So you might be feeling more motivated to be at home. With the Jupiter-Mars conjunction happening in your 4th house, this could be that there's a lot of preachy energy at home. Maybe there's a new cycle and a new start of belief systems and values that are operating at home or within your family of origin. Or there could be a belief system or value that is being severed when it comes to your living space and or the place that you grew up in. This Jupiter energy is also getting a square from your 1st house and Venus. So there's a story here about relationships, romance, restructuring. There's something that you are doing with Saturn in your 1st house retrograde, that you are reevaluating how you operate with other people, how you operate in romantic relationships especially, and how you operate at home. This could have to do with boundaries. This, especially if somebody at home is being boisterous and loud and over the top with their opinions, this is a circumstance that's showing up to help challenge you to express your new Saturn energy in the first house, which is all about the boundaries and the restriction that you're creating around yourself with other people. I feel like this is going to be a boiling point where relationships, partnerships, romantic relationships, the people that you live with, if challenges show up, this is just to get you uncomfortable enough to push yourself into creating that rigid discipline for yourself and that other people can't penetrate. The challenges become non-existent after this becomes a very familiar process. But for now, since you're going through this upgrade with Saturn in your first house of wherever you're at with these lessons, you are being challenged to the next level. So this looks like uncomfortable energy to get you to do just that and step into what you've been thinking about, what's been going on in your mind anyway. Speaking of the mind, Uranus is in your third house, and this packs a punch of surprise with short distance travel, siblings, community, neighborhood. Something unexpected could happen in this part of your life that helps shift your day-to-day habits, helps shift your health. Maybe an unexpected work trip comes up. Maybe something with your sibling is unexpected, and that creates some shifts in what you're doing, or is part of the reason that you are taking more of an escape, more of a break from the world. Another way that this could play out for a small group of Pisces out there is that there could be a dissolving of a relationship with a neighbor, a sibling, an aunt or uncle, close relative, close community. If that's the case, then this is the type of energy where whether you're okay with this happening or not, it is somehow going to benefit you in the future. I don't mean that loss of something valuable doesn't have a very heavy grief with it sometimes, but transition is part of life. And whether there's a positive outcome or not, the dissolving of something energetically leaves room for something else. So Pisces, for you, this could be a full moon with big endings. This is a great opportunity to take a break if you can take a retreat from the world. Short trips could either come up unexpectedly or be thwarted altogether. And if that's the case, just embrace these last minute changes the best that you can. And wherever you can, take some time for extra sleep, extra processing, and create that rigid protective space for yourself. When anyone starts to drain your energy or create uncomfortable friction for you. If you are looking for extra processing at this time and would like to book a reading, check out my website link below, and we'll do a live Zoom chat where we look at your personal chart and see what is going on in your life and look at ways to process and make sense of everything that's going on. Have a wonderful full moon, Pisces, and I will see you next time. Hi, Aries. This is an 11th house full moon for you. And this full moon has a lot of big energy going on. And I would say that for some of you, there's a need to exercise caution with media, the things that you say. There could be a sibling that is overly boisterous and aggressive with their beliefs, and this creates conflict in your day-to-day events, maybe with work. There's a chance that this is you, and there's a chance that through substances unhealthy addiction habits, that there is something that is said that's too much, and this creates an ending in your community, networks, and friends. That is just a small percentage of you, but it is definitely one possible outcome that could happen. So I want to mention that. But this is ultimately shifts and big endings, or a culmination point of friends and networks and community. This Venus mix is, there's something about relationships that, relationships, pleasure, work, day-to-day life, work colleagues. There's a lot of hard to predict energy here. Saturn is retrograding in your 12th house and opposing Venus in the 6th house. So secrets could come to light. Some misinformation that was hidden from you could come to light, and that could create some shifts in your day-to-day habits. Maybe there's something that changes with relationships with regard to work. There could be some unexpected shifts with your values, your assets, your voice. That could have an effect on children, fun, pleasure, your ability to express authentically. And the big one is all relating back to your friends, your networks, your community. So Aries, you're the one sign that's stumping me. You are going to have to leave a comment below and let me know how this is showing up for you, because there are just so many possibilities, and ultimately it is all going to come back to your community and networks. But there are a lot of moving pieces in this when it comes to relationships that could have to do with neighbors and siblings, potentially even a writing project of yours, or expression or media of some kind. If you are somebody who does that, then there could be some conflict at work with a female that makes you have to shift how you say things, shift what you express, and maybe how you write or communicate in some ways. So you might be taking some time out to revise some of these things. That's another possibility. What if there is something ending with community and networks, then there will be another beginning to that story in February. So don't sweat it. When things come to an end, it makes room for something new. And if that's the case, you'll see that manifestation next year. So Aries, have a wonderful full moon. Expect the unexpected and roll with it the best you can. When in doubt, taking a break from everything could really help you if you can. I'll see you next time. Hi, Taurus. This is a 10th house full moon for you. So this is a full moon that is all about your public reputation, your career, your visibility. This is either an ending or culmination point where you have completed one level and you're moving up to the next. So this could be a job ending for some of you, some sort of status that's shifting. There's a new cycle starting with your values, your money, your assets, what you spend money on. Something could be severed that you are used to. And don't fret if that's the case. That's making room for something new, for a new way of managing. There's some restriction happening with your community, networks, friends. This is your bigger group of connections in the world. And this has to do with a female and pleasure. This could be a dating situation with friends. This could be something to do with your child, especially if it's a female and pleasure. And it's somehow creating some tension between community networks and what would otherwise be pleasurable, fun, maybe even tension around you being authentically you and being able to express who you truly are. Maybe somebody in your community or your friendship network is putting being a bit too pushy with structure and their values. And that's making you feel like you can't be who you truly are or fully connect with your joy. This is just a fleeting transit, so keep that in mind, but this might be an opportunity for restructuring community and restructuring friendship networks, especially if it is squandering your fun and your ability to play, your ability to connect with that childlike nature of yours. You're the one that could be creating curveball energy, or if something unexpected comes up with home and family, this is an opportunity to revolutionize who you are as a person and the tools that you use in this world. So keep that in mind if you face any conflict with your family members, especially when it comes to communication. This is where you could be experiencing a miscommunication. So keep that in mind. Ask for clarity and ask questions with a curious mind without jumping to conclusions, because Mercury is retrograde and this is a recipe for miscommunication. It's retrograde in your fourth house and it's combusts the sun, which adds extra debilitation to communication and Mercury's typical abilities. And this is coming from home. This is coming maybe from your inner world. So maybe there's something even about yourself and your own personal desires that aren't quite clear or that you are revising around this time. Overall, there's an energy of you restructuring what you value, what you spend your money on. There's a whole new cycle starting that if you are making choices that really suit you and fit you, then this could bring more abundance and more things that you value and that you align with. Look at any challenges that show up around this time as an opportunity for just that, to reassess what you value and really choose what aligns with your needs and not necessarily those of another. But you're a Taurus, so you're already really skilled at this. This is the house that Taurus rules, the second house. So you're stepping into just a new level, and a new level that suits you even better. Enjoy this one, Taurus. I hope it brings lots of abundance, and look at any friction that shows up as recalibrating your own values so that you can grow in abundance and security even more. If you are looking to process more about what's going on with this full moon, check out my website in the link below, and we can meet for a one-on-one Zoom meeting where I look at your specific chart and what's going on in your life for you. I'll see you next time. Hi, Gemini. This is a ninth house full moon for you. So this is all about your perspective on the world. This is integrating foreign concepts, foreign people, foreign places. You could have new spiritual beliefs. You could be teaching. You could be gaining a new teacher. Maybe a teaching job is coming to an end, or an education of some kind is closing a chapter. And this is the house of gurus. So this could be that somebody that you have looked up to as a leader and a teacher of some sort is moving out of your life. If that's the case, it looks like it's because you are stepping into your own leadership. Your spiritual beliefs are starting a brand new cycle with Jupiter, Mars conjunct in your house. This could have you feeling really, really feisty, really motivated and passionate about your beliefs and your values, and really embodying them. Like, you don't even have to say anything. People can just see it in you and feel it in you. And this is part of the restructuring that is happening over a 3-year transit with Saturn in your 10th house. So I think For a lot of Geminis out there, this full moon is going to be a real culmination point where you're stepping into a new you and you're going back over some details with Saturn retrograde in your 10th of what you want to show to the world, because you're feeling completely different. You are expanding really quickly right now with Jupiter in your first house, and that is going to require some restructuring of what you show other people. For you especially, there is room for a lot of miscommunication, so watch for that. Go back over any writing that you want to release, any media. It's a great time to actually just spend all of August revising that sort of material. But you might have to go back over things that were said and spoken, maybe go back over issues with neighbors, siblings, community. And when you're doing this revision process with those topics, when it comes to writing, media, community, siblings, neighbors, keep in mind that it might not feel smooth, but that is part of the process. And when Mercury goes direct at the end of August, you will see the benefit. You might not feel it right away. It might feel more like walking through knee-deep mud, but you are making progress. And don't worry if it just doesn't show right away. You are a sign where unexpected information could come out of nowhere. Something that you did, a detail that you overlooked, or something that you just didn't know, something that was hidden from you. When this comes to light, it is going to change how you communicate, what you value. It is going to change your belief systems. It's going to change how you look at community and siblings, potentially. So these are all potentials. It could show up differently for each of you, or in any one of those areas, or all of them. But watch for curveballs and keep in mind that this is ultimately creating an expansion of who you are as a person, the tools that you have to offer this world, and the mindset that you embody. A piece of this public image has to do with the pleasure that you derive from your internal world. It could have to do with a female within your home. It could have to do with a sister, a mother. And there's some balancing that needs to be done between your inner world that connects to your family and home, your place of origin, and your outer world, what you show other people. For Geminis out there, this moon could hit especially hard because of the angular stuff that's going on alongside the moon with Saturn in your 10th, Venus in your 4th, and the Jupiter square in your first house. So these are the transits that are alongside the moon, but they are in your angular houses, which are more potent in astrology and really have more to do with who you are at the core of your being. And there's an opportunity here for things to be destabilized in order to gain something even better down the road. Keep that in mind if you're feeling a little rattled. For most Geminis, I think you're going to be feeling pretty good with Jupiter in your first house. That is a protective energy, even though the rest of the transits could be a bit chaotic around this time. Let me know how things are going in the comments below. Check out the link to my website if you would like a one-on-one reading where we can process more of what you're going through, because Gemini, Jupiter through your first house with this Mars conjunction is a really big deal. This doesn't happen for a lot of Jupiter transits, probably once every 24 years. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's a great opportunity to get a personal astrology reading. And if you're rolling with it, have an amazing time, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Cancer. This is an 8th house full moon for you. So this is all about other people's resources, intimate connections, psychological transformation. This is sudden reversals, birth, death, phoenix rising from the ashes. This is a transformational house. So this is why this house covers death and birth, because it's big transformations. And I believe that is another reason that it connects with other people's resources and deep, intimate connections, because those are also things that are profoundly transformational for us. When somebody else supports us and lifts us up financially, emotionally, otherwise, or when we deeply connect with another soul, the real spiritual, soulful, deep connection, we merge energy with another person, and that also transforms our energy. So even though this full moon is not hitting Cancer directly, this is really profound energy, especially given everything else that's going on. Very profound for your personal transformation. You just might not see the results right away, but they're coming. For you, Jupiter's blessings are behind the scenes, and there's something that is a brand new start with your passion, with your work, with your belief systems. But you're keeping this under wraps for now. Or maybe you're taking a break from work. That's another way that this can manifest. You might be, for some of you, this could be a sabbatical, a new remote work, or work overseas. You might have some connections overseas that are supporting work. Something unexpected is coming from your friends, your networks, your community. But there might be some miscommunications for now. There might be some miscommunications of values. There might be some miscommunications of the direction that you're going in. Take your time and express your belief systems very slowly. You might be restructuring your belief systems or some sort of education. And there could be a close female friend that's a part of this. So a sister, a sibling, a neighbor, a female friend. This individual is creating friction potentially, but it's ultimately to help you shift your mindset. If you're feeling friction with a female, this could be a sister, an aunt, then keep in mind that this is a good time to just maintain curiosity and think about how it may or may not affect your values. If it doesn't affect your values and you don't want to change them, it might just be making them that much stronger. It might be an opportunity to create more boundaries for other people's opinions and holding strong on your own. With energy like this, and so close to a full moon, it's ultimately pointing to how you connect with others and how you gain resources and how you develop intimacy. So keep that in mind with whatever friction shows up around this time. Those are the goals. That's the aim. Transform yourself and your psychology, opportunity for rebirth, and potentially deepen your bonds. Enjoy this one, Cancer. And if you are looking for more of this and you'd like to process through a one-on-one reading with your chart, then check out the link below for my website, and we can look at your personalized chart and discuss more about what's going on at this time. See you next time. Hi, Leo. This is a partnership full moon for you. So you are seeing things in a whole new light when it comes to your significant others. This can be in business or romantic or any contractual partnership with another person. In general, you are reaching a new level of how you deal with other people, how you perceive other people, your workings and balance with others, how you balance that Leo self expression, and how you make room for other people. Especially with Mercury retrograde in your sign, this is a time where you could be misunderstood, and that misunderstanding is for you to figure out how to create that balance with self and other. Because Leo, you can so naturally be self-expressive, and it is a wonderful quality that all of us need more of. But it needs to be in balance with making room for others. And it's not just making room for others, it is truly seeing what is good for the greater good, truly seeing the bigger picture. That's what this moon is going to help you do. And if you are experiencing friction with your friends, with your community, with your networks, something is expanding in that area of your life, but it's also potentially being severed. It could be that people are a bit too loud in your community and networks, and you don't feel like there's room for you. So there's an opportunity for a balancing act there. It could be what you value with relationships, what you value with pleasure and beauty. Deep, intimate bonds are being restructured. Your support from other people is being restructured. This is an opportunity for a death and rebirth, a big transformation. This can be an opportunity for going back over psychological things that you want to change or be aware of. A lot of stuff covered here. Something unexpected come with career and reputation. So put those things together and see how this unfolds for you. But keep in mind that the overarching theme right now is going to be about balancing self and other. Your reputation could be the very thing at stake, or that is crumbling for transformation, that is the motivation behind some of these changes. What you value and what your partners value, your romantic partnership, your work partnerships, these are things that are coming into question and could make you reevaluate the organizations and the communities that you're a part of. If things are not aligning with your values, then that's usually when these organizations or friendship communities start to shift. Sometimes that comes through romantic relationships and partnerships too. So that could be another thing that you are putting more priority and more value on romantic relationships and pleasure. And that is changing your community networks, your intimate connections, and maybe even your reputation. You have the ability to be shocking people with your public image right now. So if you're putting things out there to the world, keep that in mind. And with Mercury retrograde, because there's so much extra room for misunderstandings, take the time to revise and edit things before they go out to the public. And just make sure that it's clear. If it's not, and it ends up creating some conflict, then this is an opportunity to learn, and it's an opportunity to revise how you express yourself, the tools that you use, and your communication. If conflict arises, this is an opportunity to adjust your communication in some way and move forward differently. That will only enrich your intimate bonds, and as a result, the support that you get from other people. Let me know how things are going in the comments below, Leo, and reach out with my link to the website if you would like a personal reading to understand more of how this energy is showing up in your personal chart. And we can look at the months and months to come and what you have to look forward to. I'll see you next time. Hi, Virgo. This is the 6th house full moon for you. So the 6th house is a Virgo house. This has to do with work, health, service to other people, small animals. And there's some tension with work and service, as well as rest and retreat. This could have to do with revisions for trips overseas. This could have to do with revising how much time you spend working versus how much time you spend resting. And this has an undertone of looking after your health or service to other people as well. If you work in hospitals, there could be some revisions that need to happen with those processes, and that's a new position at work. Overall, you're getting a lot of attention with work. Jupiter in your 10th house is blessing your reputation for the next year. And this Mars cycle puts it on steroids. So this could be an amplification of the attention that you're getting. Maybe this has to do with someone overseas. And you have Venus in your first house. So regardless of what's going on and what might feel uncomfortable, you are looking good to other people. This is, if your ruler wasn't retrograde, this would be the time where you want to get a bunch of beauty stuff done, stuff for your body and your image. This is still a great time to do that, but use the revisiting energy. So go back to a beautician that you saw in the past, go to a hairdresser that you've been to before. Don't do any drastic changes to your body, but go back over something that was supportive and revisit that. Beauty, health, and the overall pleasure that you experience when it comes to your embodied experience in this life is going through restructuring and balancing with how you manage other people. Your ability to experience beauty and pleasure and joy with you has to do with balancing that energy with other. So you could go through specific experiences that make you calibrate how much energy you give to other people versus yourself. And this really aligns with service and work and the energy that I'm seeing in retreat too. So for you as well, you're another sign where there's a lot of energy that is demanding attention between self and other, and how you balance that in your day-to-day life. Because you are such a selfless sign, Virgo, and this depends on personal charts, so check out the link below if you want a reading with me, and we can talk about what's going on specifically for you. But as a general rule, the Virgo energy is selfless, giving, and generous, and it's here to serve, it's here to protect, it's here to give to others. But there's a point where that becomes unbalanced, and when a Virgo becomes depleted and drained, they can't fulfill their process of being here to help others. So it's really important as a Virgo to replenish and keep yourself in balance in whatever way that you need to, because then you can show up for others, and then you can get that energy back that Virgos get from service and providing, from organizing, from doing the work, from seeing things through a different lens, from seeing the bigger picture and the small picture. I mean, Virgos, you are here to work, but you also can't work to the point of depletion and falling apart. It's easy to do in this world. There's a lot of opportunity for doing multiple jobs these days, and I think it's easy, especially for a Virgo, to jump on that and just do too much. And that could be what's going on with Jupiter in your 10th house. Maybe you have too many careers and one of them needs to be severed right now. There's an unexpected curveball energy coming from a foreign place, a foreign concept, a teacher, your values, how you view the world, how you think the world works. When it comes to this teacher, this could be a female that really helps transform who you are as an individual. And when that transformation happens, it is also how you have more fun and experience more joy and just express a more pleasurable side of yourself. And maybe even when it comes to beauty, because Virgos tend to be very simple, more on the bland side of things. And so focusing on beauty and makeup and public image is something that Virgo puts to the wayside. But energy like this could have you shifting those things and putting a little bit more focus on beauty, and in a way that brings pleasure, not that's work. So Virgo, I hope that work is blooming and you are feeling empowered as a result. This empowerment is going to help create more balance with partnerships energetically, and is just going to feed into this energy of public visibility, balancing work and life, balancing your energy. Keep in mind that if any of these things present challenges, this is a recalibrating opportunity for balance so that you are feeling more give and take in a really positive way moving forward. I hope this moon is going really well for you, Virgo, and I will see you next time.